Yes.
Yes.
Dee, 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 dee. One of these days I'm going to get the tapping on glass sound effect.
Exactly.
So when we do
would
that.
be perfect. Yes. Ding, tap, tap, tap.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? And action.
Boy, have we got a treat for you today. I mean, I think it's a treat, and I know Elizabeth has enjoyed them too. And you need to tell a story about how these came about.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Are they're DecoColor. I hesitate to call them a leafing pen because that's not what they call them. They are named Premium. Don't ask me why they're just named Premium, but that's what they call them. And there's
because they're extra fancy.
That must be it, right?
Yeah.
And there's 4 really amazing colors in here that produce something that looks a lot like if you leafed something.
Yeah, they're super de-duper metallic. Like, can I show this, or is this your prop?
No, that's fine. You
Okay.
can show whatever you
Look
want.
at this. I mean, it is like adding metallic leaf, and it's so shiny.
Yeah.
And
It's pretty amazing.
it
And that's
looks-
on black.
This is on black, yeah, totally opaque, because here we have to put it there. We have to hide from the camera. So
sorry.
there. Then see, if we hide from the camera, then it just focuses on the thing. Right. This is a very professional operation. Anyway,
If only.
very metallic, shiny. And how it came about was my last workshop in Mexico. I had 8 students, 7 of which were all repeat students. And we had one newbie, brand new student named Nancy. And Nancy had these markers. Shout out to Nancy. So Nancy had these markers, and she said that she had tried all kinds of metallic markers, and hands down, these were the best. So super shout out to Nancy for doing our work for us.
Doing some legwork for us.
Yeah. So
'Cause, I mean, you and I can't keep track of every single product. There's just not enough time for that. But helpful people like your students is always a good thing.
yeah, she was so excited and so emphatic about how good they were that I had to try them out. And when I tried them out, I loved them. And then I said to Barb, hey, we got to feature these. And here we are.
So the interesting thing about these is that these are oil-based, so there is definitely an odor. You need to keep that in mind. I don't find it overwhelming, and I can be sensitive to odors at times, but there's definitely an odor, so you want to think about that. But amazingly enough, because even though they're oil-based, they are non-toxic, and they're archival, and they're lightfast. So, you know, Elizabeth is going to use these in her paper paintings, and she doesn't have to worry about them fading because they are, in fact, lightfast.
That's very cool. Yeah.
So there are 4 colors, and I'll talk about this in my little section. There's 4 colors, and there are 3 tip sizes. And with them, you can do lots of different things. These are not limited to any one kind of project. I think they're useful for everything.
For sure. I mean, I just have to show you this. I mean, how amazing is that? Ta-da!
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see me make that, but yeah, I mean, we used them on paper, we used them on cardstock, black cardstock. You used them on your journal. I think you could use them on all kinds of different surfaces.
They are multi-surface. There are, and it might not be a bad idea if you look at the DecoColor website just for some additional information. We can only, give you so much all at once, but there's information about this stuff. You can clean this off of a surface. Actually, that's what I wanted to say. When we got it on the nonstick craft sheet that we were working on, alcohol, 91% alcohol did lift it with some elbow grease. Some things it's not going to come off of. So if you value your clothes, then you'll want to be careful not to get them on your clothes.
Wear a smock, but yeah, you got it off the surface of the of the table. But you say it was you that was shaking those, the stuff was going everywhere. You were priming them, making a giant mess. That was all you.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The mess.
No, there was no mess. No, there was no mess.
That's why she had to make a special trip to the store to get that alcohol last night in the dark.
Yes, feeling my way around to the grocery store. But we have it, and it works. I mean, it will clean it up off of something that is slippery, like the nonstick craft sheet is, but you do need to keep in mind that if you get it on paper where you don't want it, not so much.
Yeah, they're very permanent.
Yes, they are. So, shall we go do it?
Yeah, let's go do it.
Let's go do it. These DecoColor, they're called Premium Markers, are available in 3 tip sizes. They are all chisel tips, but there are 3 sizes. There's something that they call, let me just get to my notes, a 2mm leafing tip, a 3mm fine tip, and then the larger one is called a chisel tip. Now, one of the things that I think is really interesting about this is that not only are there 4 colors, but there are 4 very opaque colors. The ink, the pigment, the stuff that is in these is archival and acid-free, and it is also lightfast, which makes sense because it's a pigment-based product. So as Elizabeth and I were playing around with these yesterday as we prepared ourselves for this video, we started to scribble and realized that these are actually quite opaque. This is one of the colors of Posca markers that we scribbled on here, and then we very deliberately stroked the 4 colors. So we've got the silver, gold, copper, and rose gold over that, and it covered quite well, and you can see we did some dots here as well. So one of the things that I found the most interesting, and I don't know if I can get this to reflect, but these look almost wet to me. And I came back at one point and I was looking at my finger to see if there was anything wet on there, and it in fact wasn't. So what I wanted to show you, and I'm not sure which of that it is, we just want to show you that these, like pretty much every other pen, have to be primed. So I'm going to give it a shake. Take this, oh, that one's not it. What did I do with it? All right, so I thought I had one here that needed to be primed, but clearly I'm hallucinating. So you're gonna do this the same way you do every other kind of paint pen like this. We're gonna pretend this is not primed for a moment. You're gonna shake it and you're gonna press it down, and you're gonna let that paint flow from the reservoir that's in the body of the pen down to the tip. Now it's going to take however long it takes. Sometimes it's a little bit quicker. As I've said in other videos, I live at elevation, and so this stuff tends to happen a little bit more quickly. And during the course of time when you use these, you may have to come back to prime them again because there's a limited amount of paint that flows each time you press, and you have to continue that and get that paint moving again. So these are also multi-surface, and one of the things that I like, in addition to the 4 really great colors and the opacity, is that you can use them on any surface. So this is one of our Joggles journals that we gave away, and this cover is, I don't know, it's got some kind of a shiny finish on it, some kind of board that's been covered with probably paint to make it look black, and then the imprint was put on it. And I just came through and I put the date on it, and these work really, really well. So someplace here, before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm going to use, this is the 2mm, this is the one that they call the leafing tip. One of the things that's really interesting about this is because this is an oil-based product, unlike if I come back with a Posca over something like this, so let's kind of move this out of the way. This is one of Elizabeth's patterns for layering 2 stencils, and I don't remember which one, but I sprayed through it with one of Tim's Distress Mica stains. If I came back with a Posca paint pen, which is water-based, and I start to outline these flowers, the color that is this pink is going to bleed up into whatever the color I use, and typically that would be white. With this is an oil-based marker, and that doesn't really happen. I marked these a while ago, and there is really no effect on them. So because I don't have a super fine point, I'm going to work with the pointy edge of that chisel. And I'm not doing a very good job here. Let's find the pointy edge of the chisel. And I'm just going to sometimes you have to prime these things. I'm just going to very lightly come in. There we go. There's the thinner line, and outline these. Now you're going to do a better job than I am because, of course, everything on camera has a tendency to not go exactly the way that you planned. But the larger point is applying these over something that's rewettable, like a Distress Mica stain, is unlikely to result in the discoloration with something like a water-based Posca would. So these are suitable for all kinds of things. You can use them in your journals, you can use them in your cards, you can use them for little accents. And in fact, someplace here, I have a whole nother book. Stay there, don't move.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yes, enjoy. So I played with this a little bit. This is one of the 49 in Market. This is the Moonlit Garden, and this is one of the spiral notebooks. So you can see here that I just came in. You can use a little, you can use a lot. It's just, and then I outlined it because, you know, I'm not perfect when I do these things. And someplace in here is another page. Okay, here it is. So I just came in with the silver, and I hit some areas to highlight it. So you can use...
Let's turn that and see if we can get it to catch the light.
Is it better? There it goes.
Yeah, there
we
I
go.
see it, yeah.
You can use a little or you can use a lot. Whether you're working on a card, as I said, you're working in something that's prepared like this, or you're simply starting from scratch and working with your own design. Across the board, whatever the kinds of things are that you normally do, these are absolutely going to work for it.
Here we are playing with metallic markers, and I am once again using my favorite pad of sketch rice paper, Yasutomo 9x12 sheets. This paper is important to what I'm showing you because it is highly absorbent and it will soak the color all the way through itself. And so the effects that we get are based on this rice paper. Okay, so the metallic markers are tons of fun because they are actually metallic. They aren't like, you know, sort of metallic. They're really super shiny, and I am excited about that. They come out looking very similar to metallic paint or metallic foil leaf. And I've got, there's another color around here, Barb. This one.
You left it behind.
Yep. Rose gold, copper, gold, and silver. And the silver is a smaller tip. So the first thing that I did, and I'll spare you having to watch me do this, is that I doodled all over this paper. I just made horizontal and hash marks, basically this way and then that way, and then like this way and then that way. And I just doodled. It took me a while, but it was therapeutic, right, Barb?
Honestly, I don't think you were at it for more than 5 or 6 minutes.
Nah.
It's not like this is a half-an-hour project.
No, it's not a half-an-hour project, but it was definitely relaxing. And then I came in with the rose gold, and I made, you know, cross hatch marks in the openings as well as over some of the other marks. And it's easy. Anybody can do it. I'm just showing you this is mark making that anybody can do. It's not complicated. And you're just going back and forth in multiple directions with sort of hash marks and filling most of the paper. And like I said, I used the rose gold and the gold on this one. Then what I'm going to do is flood this with a watered down paint. And you are going to see that this metallic marker makes an amazing resist. The acrylic will not adhere to this because it is oil-based. So we're going to create a really beautiful piece of paper that is covered with the metallic hash marks, and then we're going to make it this permanent, oh, I knew what it was a minute ago. Permanent, I don't know. It's like magenta.
Is it permanent red violet? Is that what that one
Yeah,
is?
I think that's what that one is. Yeah, permanent red violet, close to magenta. So I put that on the non-stick craft mat, and I'm adding a bunch of water. I'm also going to spritz some water onto this sheet. It just makes the work go a little quicker. We get that rice paper nice and damp, and you can see that the water is starting to soak through the other side. And I'm just going to really get this watered down, and look at that. Look at the way the metallic paint just resists that acrylic. I love this part, Barb. This is my favorite part.
It's a little bit of magic.
It is. It's extra special. Look at that. So, of course, you could make this in any color. You could make a teal background. You could make as a matter of fact, I meant to make it teal, Barb. That's why I have the teal out.
Oh,
but
oops,
whatever.
yeah.
I just went to this. However, this color with the teal is interesting.
Yeah,
so we
that's
could
gonna
do a
look
little
good.
blend. You don't have to make your sheet all one color. So let's mix this up. We're going to get like a little bit of a purple. Not too much because there wasn't that much magenta there. But now I'm going to add another color. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And so you get that all in there. Bring that in a little bit more. And then I'm going to take a paper towel, and I'm just going to wipe the surface to get any of the paint off of the surface of the marker and of the table here. And then I'm noticing that I got a little white here, so I'm going to get that. Don't want to leave any white because this is a sheet of collage paper for me, okay? And the beauty of it is that the color is coming through the back. We got a little bit, this is interesting too. A lot of the times what occurs on the back of a paper can be just as interesting as what occurs on the front. So the oil-based marker is preventing the color from soaking through there. If we added more water, we would probably get this. But what's beautiful about this, Barb, is when we tear it, I'm going to tear it anyway, even though it's wet, we're going to get colored edges. So when I tear this, I'm going to get purple edges. And when I tear over here, I'm going to get magenta edges. So for collaging, I don't have to worry about white edges. But this to me is a great metallic purpley blue sheet of collage paper. And it is awesome, the resist of the metallic pens. Nice thing about the craft sheet, we're just gonna set this off to the side and let it dry. And on to the next fun thing. Okay, so this is a solid area that I colored with the gold marker. So it's just a big solid. And what I am going to use this for is like a paper metallic leaf. So I can tear this in collage and add gold anywhere I want it. But once again, I am gonna do that color soak through method with the rice paper. This time I'm gonna flip it upside down and missed it. And I think I'm gonna put the teal on that. So we're gonna get that nice and damp. And I'm gonna spread it through the back. This way, when I tear my gold leaf, I'm gonna get teal edges. And if that gold leaf isn't completely solid in any areas, I'll get teal that shows through the marker marks. But I think I was pretty solid with this.
We'll find out when you turn it, won't we?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, no, we do have some marker marks, I think, unless that's just sitting up on the surface. A little bit. So again, I'm wiping and you're seeing a little bit of that blue in the gold. So that is kind of a nice effect. Just between those little marker marks, you get a little bit of color. So this is beautiful gold metallic leaf collage paper, but it's also got a little bit of color. And then of course, again, when I tear this to put it in collage, I'm getting blue edges. So I don't have to worry about white edges, but I get that unique effect of blue edges. So if I tear a piece out of here, and you got to tear it in the right direction to get the colored edges. But there I get these beautiful blue edges and blue accents on my metallic leaf hack that I'm creating with the metallic marker and the rice paper. So here I doodled on my 8x10 rice plate. On my 8x10 gel plate, I doodled with the markers. So in this scenario, I used gold and copper and the silver smaller tip to make the circles. So I drew directly on my gel plate. My gel plate was nice and clean to start, thanks to Barb. And I have doodled on here and it's dry. So you could do your cross hatching marks. You could just do lines, but I did some Klimpke spirals because of the metallic. And now I am going to pull the print just like we would pull a ghost print. So I'm using the smooth side of that same rice paper pad. That smooth side is going to go down into the plate, and I am going to cover this with paint so that it releases the metallic and we get a fun print. So the colors that I'm going to use are Van Dyke Brown and Prussian Blue. And I am using an adorable, how big is this?
1.5 inches.
An adorable 1.5-inch brayer. And I am also using my 5x7 plate as a palette off to the side. So yesterday I rolled the paint out on the desk, which works just fine on the non-stick craft sheet, but this is a little bit easier. So I'm gonna just roll the brayer into the Prussian Blue and then apply a stripe of that, and then another strip of it, and then a third strip of it. Then I'm gonna put out the Van Dyke Brown. I'm not gonna worry about having a little blue in my brayer. So I'm just gonna take the same brayer and roll it right into the Van Dyke Brown. And I'm gonna put that in the center. And in between this stripe, I think I need a little bit more. You would not want to go the other direction. I'm using the Van Dyke Brown second to the blue without cleaning the brayer. Obviously, if you did the Van Dyke Brown first, you'd have to clean the brayer to switch to blue. Okay, so now we got a couple of cool narrow stripes thanks to this adorable brayer. And I've got my smooth side down of my rice paper. Let's move this palette out of the way. And I'm going to take my favorite new tool, the Baron, and apply a bunch of pressure. and wait. I found yesterday that waiting is what allows the metallic to release the best. If you pull it prematurely, you get metallic, but if you wait a little bit longer, you'll get better metallic transfer. So be patient. Yeah, make a cup of tea, go check your email. So we're gonna shut off the camera at this point, Barb, so that we can be patient.
Okay.
Okay, so we waited a few minutes and we applied some more pressure with the Baron. I like this tool because I can push straight down and get a decent amount of pressure on there, much more pressure than I can just with my hands. So that helps, especially with a print like this. Okay, and we're gonna pull it up and you're gonna see that there's a decent amount left on the plate, but look at how it looks over those colors. Wow. Wow, wow.
Super pretty.
Right?
And the stripes are a really interesting effect.
They are fun. Look at that. What a neat print.
Yeah. And it swirls and it's metal. There's nothing not to like.
Right? That looks really cool. I'm super happy with that. So now you have a decent amount left and you can make another print. We could pull another print and probably a third print. So you can keep pulling this until it comes off. And then if you are left with any shadows or stains, we want to let you know how to clean it. So you're going to take baby oil, which is mineral oil. That is the only kind of oil that you ever want to use on this plate. And you just put that. Oh, this is locked so the baby can't open it. Okay, Barb. Okay, push down and turn. All right, I'm just going to put that on the plate like that. This is also good for conditioning your plate anyway. You should have some on hand. And voila. So when you're ready to be done with the metallic marker on your plate, all you need to do is some baby oil and some rubbing, and it will all come off and you don't have to worry about it. So we figured we'd show you that because that's what we learned through this process. Okay, so a little baby oil, and it's great for the plate. So it's a win-win.
Well, and it's not only suitable to clean off these particular markers. If you used something else that is stuck on there. Now, there are some things like alcohol ink that are going to permanently stain the gel. It has no effect on whatever print you make. But if you have something stuck on there, the baby oil is the thing to remove it with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right back to clean. And
I can see your dirty fingers through it.
You can see my dirty fingers through it. So how amazing is that? And I think that's it for today, for me.
All right.
All right, then. Okay, so just as a quick recap, because that was a lot. First, with the metallic marker, or at some point in there, I made the hack gold leaf with colored edges and color showing through on the rice paper. Then I wanted to show you, we did this print, but in practicing yesterday, I made this print. I forgot about how much I liked these, Barb.
Spokes.
The spokes or the rays of light. That would have been cool in here. So, you know, more doodling and more with thin strips with the brayer. So this was a print I made yesterday. Then here's a print that I made yesterday with the magenta back and the doodling. Look at the metallic on that.
I know.
Those markers, they're just really shiny metallic. So there's that one. And then in this one, I just did a bunch of doodling, kind of like handwriting, but not saying anything. But of course, you could do handwriting. You could write words or your thoughts or your daily affirmations. And I used all three colors on here, and I put purple through wash over it. And again, it soaks through. So we tear, and we have beautiful colored edges. And that's fabulous for collage. And I guess that's it. My face is in the dark.
It is a little bit in shadow, isn't it?
Why is it that my face is dark and her face is like a spotlight on it, and I'm like in a shadow?
It has something to do with the weird light in this room, I think. We need to open those blinds and maybe that would help.
Well,
although that would just increase the shadow.
We did that yesterday, and then I was like lit from one side like a classic still life. Like my head was an apple.
I have so nothing to say about that.
Oh, she has plenty to say about that. She's just saving it for later.
Yeah, well, yes, in company that I can say it in. So,
well,
these markers are pretty cool.
Yes, they're very cool. They're very metallic. They're very shiny. And we all love shiny.
Yes, we do.
So give them a try. Let us know what you think. Tag us in your creative endeavors on social media and, you know, all good things.
Yeah. and we will see you on the flip side.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.